So how are you feeling now with all this the controversy that happened a decade ago? I mean, what's going on now?
14 years ago now.
14 years ago, yeah.
You see, dude, back in those days, well, first of all, you know what, dude? Everything, it hit me when I watched that episode of the Comedy Store.
Yeah, the Showtime thing.
Yeah, it hit me because
You texted me.
I realized, like, my absence from the internet in all those years allowed a narrative to be created that will never change, no matter what I do, no matter what I say, no matter how I come about it, no matter what my perspective is. It just is the way it is. Like, there's nothing I could do about it. And that is a very difficult thing to do for somebody who is a control freak like me. Look, as you know, I'm always thinking about, if I do this, then that, then what are the ramifications of all this stuff? So my biggest regret is, back in those days, you know, when all this stuff happened, was to fight it. Not fight it, but to, like, I've recorded all my shows since 1993. I don't have to fight anybody on anything. If somebody comes up to me and says, hey, you're doing my joke, I could easily go, what joke is it? When did you tell it? Let me go look. And then if you did it before me, I'll stop doing it, or whatever it is. Like, I've always had that.
Yeah.
But I stayed quiet, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And now it's just like, that's what it is. I mean, I guarantee you that when this airs, you go on to the comments, people are going to say, why'd you put that stealing piece of shit on, all this kind of stuff, whatever it is. And no matter what I say,
But why not?
skip.
But Ned, why not do in the beginning just a blanket apology?
But
and
I
then move
wasn't.
on?
See, let me get this. Understand what happened. Anytime, even to this day, bro,
Yeah.
somebody says, you stole a joke, I go, okay, well, what joke was it? Not angry. Like, what joke, dude? I write a lot. You know this. I fucking create a lot of material. A lot. You've seen me. You personally have seen me write 20 minutes of new shit on stage in one show.
I have seen that, but I have also seen some of your act, you know what I mean, a little too close to things that have already been established, like the Bill Cosby bit.
Yeah, I'd never seen that one. So
I know, but I know. My point though is that it's so similar, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that why not just outwardly say, I apologize, and then we could just move on from it, rather than you constantly defending.
But it's not that I'm defending. See, again, it's not that I'm defending. Who do I apologize to? Right? So really quick.
Yeah.
I'm not, you and I hung out. We never watched comedy shows. There was no Netflix to watch it. It was nothing. And you never heard me talk about Bill Cosby. And my style of comedy is nothing like it. No, hold on. Let me tell you a story. So when we recorded that special, on the second recording, I did that bit. At the end of the show, Jeff Schimmel, Robert Schimmel's brother, came up to me and said, yo, that bit sounds very similar to a bit that whatchamacallit does. And I said, fuck, I'm tired of this shit. But you guys deal with it the way you need to deal with it. From the minute he told me that, I've never done that joke ever since. We can go through the archives of my performances. I could take you and you could pull out any performance. I never did that joke from the moment I was told that. But that will never be the narrative. Do you see what I'm saying? It will never be the narrative, because all anybody knows is from the outside. Those narratives are things that I've tried to address. You know what I mean? I've tried to, like, I go up to people and say, hey man, I heard you said this. Oh, I've never said that. I heard you talk about it. Oh, I've never talked about that.
Yeah.
And so I want to say, you know, hey, Maz Jobrani, I heard you did the fucking joke like this. I did a joke like that. Is that the same joke? Yeah. Oh, man, I'm sorry. I'll stop doing it. My apologies. Maybe I saw you do it. I don't know. I don't remember that, but because I'm always thinking, I usually know where my shit comes from, but if that's the case, I'm sorry. But I don't know how to apologize to nobody and everybody at the same time.
Could it be a case where you are absorbing, you know, unbeknownst to your consciously doing it, unbeknownst to you, you're absorbing these things, and then kind of like, you know, formulating a joke out of that thing that you didn't actively listen to. Could it be a case of that?
At that time, though, it's hard to believe that would have been the case at that time, because it was, first of all, at that time, during mine and Mencia, I wasn't at the comedy clubs like they say. I was going from one club to the other club to the other club to the other club. So I wasn't hanging out.
What would incentivize then, like
I
a
wouldn't
young?
hang out. But I was always trying to address it. Is my point.
What would
And-
incentivize like a young comic, say for instance, to say?
Oh, I was
"Man,
hated. Listen, I was hated from the beginning because one of them was Mitzi changed my name, right? So she was the one that told me to change my name. And Bobby will tell you, once Mitzi does something like that, you're going to get all the spots. You just do. And I don't know if I deserve the spots. Probably not, because I'd been doing comedy literally for like 3 months when I got in there. But I got spots every single day for about 3 to 4 years, maybe.
Ned.
Right, something like that?
Ned. You would do the reason there's I think okay, I think there's a combination of things going on.
Right.
Okay. The two things that are going on is that a lot of your material, I'm not saying all of it, right? And I don't even say most of it, you know what I mean? I think I don't know percentage wise.
Sure.
But a lot of your material was a little too similar to the ilk of Paul Mooney or, you know what I mean, Bill Hicks or, you know,
Sure.
the Cosby thing
I
was,
wasn't-
you know,
I wasn't
right. So my
inspired by
point,
those
I know my point
Hell
though
yes.
being is that, you know, to me, where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't know what the percentage of it is. Secondly, right, I was there, and I'm not saying what's wrong or right, but you, Dice, Eddie Griffin would do a long time on stage, and you would bump
Yes.
a lot of these younger comics,
Yes.
and a lot of these young comics that you bumped are the big comics of today. You know what I
Concur.
mean? Yeah, guys like Sebastian, all these guys,
Concur.
right? And so, you know, with the combination of two things, right? I think that is why you're in the situation that you're in right now.
So why attack
So
me
what I'm-
about
so
my
what
name?
I'm
But why
saying-
attack me about my name then?
But that's you know what I mean.
But no, but
that's
those are
a-
all attacks.
I
You know what I'm
understand- I
saying?
understand
Like,
what you're
why?
saying.
Why that?
I personally have never heard.
See, here's what I need.
But I just want to let me just finish my point
Yeah.
though. My point is that you know, if I were you,
Yeah.
all right, I would do, you know, a blanket apology. You know what I mean?
I just don't know
and
who
move
to
on.
apologize
It's
to.
you know, when Amy Schumer, right, apologized for stealing jokes, right? They
Right.
do a blanket apology. I'm so sorry that if I you know what I mean, I hurt comics, not anyone specifically. You know, I stole some jokes, and let's move on.
That's what was my next question, Ned. Was that
But she
Let's
did
move
that.
on.
But she did that on purpose. Whatever I did, whatever you're talking about, because it's like, what did somebody say? Oh, in that video, in the TV show, they didn't say I was stealing jokes. They said I was repackaging premises. So now it's like I'm doing a similar premise, but I'm doing it differently. And so, to me, it's like,
Yeah, but what
dude, just give it
but Ned, what
Mooney. I went up to Mooney more than once and said specifically, "Hey, somebody said that you did a joke about this, and I do this joke." Oh no, brother, that's different jokes. You fine. Problem is what he said. It was muddled, right? It wasn't just the material thing. It's you're a fake Mexican. Your name is Ned, right? You run the light. We don't like you because you bumped me. You're doing shit. So it didn't feel like none of those attacks felt like a genuine, authentic thing.
I see what you're saying.
It feels like
It
you
felt like they were coming
motherfuckers
for
don't
you.
like me. Like, why all this shit? Like, if it's material stuff, then let's talk about that.
So
Let's
if you
talk about the
think that-
material. Plus, it's really difficult because I tried to address this. That video was born from me going on stage and saying to comedians, "What are you talking about? What is it that you're talking? Tell me what you're talking about. What am I doing?" And what did they bring up? A wall joke that was told literally by 10 other comedians. 10 of us wrote that joke.
I'm giving you an outsider's perspective. Let's say I'm an open micer. You come to me and said, "Tell me exactly what it is." Like, do you think that there's a power dynamic there where it is hard to tell somebody who as big of an icon as you to say, "Hey man, this were the exact things that you did"? And would you listen? Would you have stopped and would you have listened to that at that time?
I went on stage to confront Joe calling me Carlos Menstealia because I wanted to know what it was all about. Here's what I mean by it gets muddled. And it's difficult. And all I want is for those guys to say, look, you did this, but because trust me, comedians that have shit stolen from them, we remember what jokes those are. I can tell you all the jokes that comedians have told after me that I told them first, right? I remember those. Case in point, right? I'll give you an example. I had no problem with Ari Shaffir, right? No problem. Bobby calls me up and says, dude, Ari just beat the shit out of me. Do not put him on your show. He had just auditioned to play Jesus Christ in this parade thing that we were doing on mine and Mencia. So I went to the Comedy Store that night. I saw Ari. I said to Ari, hey, what are you doing punching Bobby? He's fucking little. You're fucking huge. What's wrong with you? And he said, well, if I see him again, I'll fucking beat his ass again. Mm-hmm. And I immediately called my producers and said, is he booked on the show? Because if he's booked and you told him he's booked, we're not going to change it. But if he's not booked, I don't want you to book him. Mm-hmm. And they said, no, he's not booked. So I didn't put him on the show. After that, he starts saying I steal jokes from him. Before that, he didn't. The problem with that is it gets muddled, right? Is he really pissed that he thinks I stole a joke from him? Or is it because I didn't put him on mine and
I think my question is more like...
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
Because you changed your name, right? There's one case in point, which is the stealing, is the crux of the whole thing, right? So what I'm saying is that
but
I know it's muddled.
It feels like they threw a bunch of shit at the wall.
I understand that, but all that other stuff
I believe that, by the way.
I believe that as well, and that's what stuck. But the thing that is putting you in comedy prison is just the essence of the stealing. That's the real root of
stealing is such a huge deal for me. It's like rape.
But I know. But
no. Listen to me.
Yeah,
you need to understand this.
Yeah.
And I've never said this to anybody.
Okay.
To me, when you take a joke that somebody's really worked hard on to create it, because it's fucking hard to write a joke that gets an applause break. That's just fucking hard to do. That's like raping somebody. And whenever I was accused of rape, I went up to that woman and said, hey, man, somebody said I raped you last night. Is that what happened? And she said, no, you didn't rape me. And what you're asking me to do is apologize to all the women I've raped. I want to, but can I meet these? Can I say I'm sorry to them in person?
I think that there's a way to do that.
Look,
what I'm saying though is that we live in an age now where going to individual people isn't going to fix the problem. The problem is...
I don't care about that. That's not what I care about.
What do you care about?
I want to meet these fucking people so that I can look them in the eye and say, dude, I'm sorry, or fuck, I remember that joke. Let me think about where I created that joke. Holy fuck, I don't remember.
Well, have
where
you
I created
done that?
joke. Yes. And every single person I call says no. Every single person I call says, no, you never took shit from me. I just know you took shit. Or I just know you said shit. You know what I'm saying?
Could there be two truths? Could you also have made those mistakes, and could you apologize for those mistakes?
Of course, I'm ready to apologize to the people to the people that I did this to. Yeah. Right? To the people that I did this to. But like I said, you're accusing me of rape. Don't tell me I raped a bunch of chicks and don't have any chicks to tell me that I'm raping them. You know what I'm saying? You gotta give me that. I have no problem apologizing to people for whatever. If you're a comic out there, please, Carlos Mencia at carlosmencia.com. Email me so that I can apologize to but fuck, you know what?
Yeah.
It feels like I was this fucking comedy goblin going around from fucking... Well, no, that's not club because other clubs don't talk shit to me. Just the Comedy Store. Like I was going to the Comedy Store and in the back, fucking, oh, that shit's funny. Let me take that shit and flip it and turn it around. And it wasn't like that. I mean, that's not the way it ever was. And so all I ever wanted was for you to show me that it's not just hate. Basically, I get that you hate me, but do you really hate me because I steal shit? Oh, I did steal your shit. What was the joke? Oh, fuck, I'm sorry, man. I thought it's because my name is Ned, or I was pretending to be Mexican, or all these other fucking attacks. So all I've ever wanted was a clarity in it. And to this day, for like you're saying that I did that a lot. But there's only like 2 examples of me on the internet really doing that. And one of them is the wall joke, and the other one is the Cosby joke. So for the fact that supposedly I was doing this all the time, there should be a fuckload more people in jokes.
Yeah.
But
I'm not okay. I'm not saying.
but I get it. Listen,
I'm not saying. Listen.
this is my last hurrah, bro. I never saw it the way I saw it when I saw that.
Fans of yours who, if we, let's say, heard you say, you know what, dude, 14 years ago, I fucked up royally. I haven't done that since, and I want to move on from it. And I would be like, oh my God,
I wish I could say
Carlos,
that.
I want to see you every day for the rest of my life.
And I wish I could say that.
I think that you can.
But that's not real because I wasn't doing that on a conscious level.
In your heart, you don't feel that way.
No. I know I wasn't consciously doing that.
Yeah.
I've asked these guys who I have hurt
Yeah.
to tell me so that I can, look, when you're following the 12-step program, which you know well, when it comes time to apologizing, you have to apologize to the people that you hurt.
Correct.
You can't just give a blanket statement and say, I was a drunk and I was an addict and while I did that, I hurt some people. No, you have to call those fucking people. You have to talk to those people. You have to look at those people in the eye and say,
I agree.
I'm sorry that I did that to you. I'm sorry. That's what I've always wanted, to be able to have that catharsis for myself on behalf of me.
Yeah.
To say to those guys like, dude, I never knew that I did that. I'm so fucking sorry. How can I make it up to you? What are you doing right now in your career? Do you want to open for me? Do you want to do some tour dates? What can I do to help? You know what I mean? I don't have a TV show, but you know what I mean? I'm still fucking doing the road. I still do good numbers.
I love
we're still
that.
doing like I would, but
I love that.
never get that. And I wish that I did. And so a hypothetical apology, I don't have a problem with it. It feels fake. Not to me, but to them. That's always felt fake until now, because now I realize that to a lot of people, I am that, and that's all I am. And no matter what I say, no matter what I do, that's what it is.
Well, fuck those people.
But it's difficult because I don't have a problem with you suck. You ain't shit. Da 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 da. It doesn't matter. There is no comeback for whose jokes are you telling now? What jokes did you do? Oh, you wrote a new joke? Like, there's no comeback for that. I can't say anything to that. All I can do is read it and try to let it not break my heart, crack my soul,
But in my mind, and maybe I'm not seeing the whole picture, but in my mind, I see a path of redemption for you. And I believe in it so strongly. And I think that where it starts is, like you said, individually apologizing, but doing both. Doing the blanket statement anyways, whether you think it's genuine or not, how it lands on people is we can't control that. But doing both, doing the blanket and then doing this. And then I see somebody that I grew up with making amends, who I know is an amazing performer, and I want to see him up on stage again in the way that he deserves.
Yeah, I don't have control over that. Like I said, I've called individuals to apologize. I've called them to say, sorry I bumped you. Sorry I did that. You know what I mean? The Caparillos of the world.
This is how I genuinely feel about you. Okay. You obviously, I've said this, you're monumental help in my career. And I really thank you for all the things that you've done. No, just take it. Don't.
Do you want me to tell you why I did it? So
no,
you
let
really
me just finish my blanket statement.
Go ahead.
Your blanket.
Let's do all blanket. Yes,
I wanna
he'll
do a
do
blanket.
blanket.
I
I'll
wanna
do
do a
blanket.
blanket
You do a
statement.
blanket.
I'll do a nice, warm, heavy blanket.
Yeah,
statement.
yeah.
I think that I believe that there are certain things that you didn't consciously or unconsciously do, but I think that there were some elements of your act that were too similar to other people's acts, and regardless if you're conscious about it or not, it is what it is, like Trump says, and
Okay.
no, it is what it is, and for me, there's certain codes that go on in comedy. Like, for instance, I remember one time Johnny Sanchez said, I'm doing this new bit about me walking through a spider web, but people from afar can't see you walk through the spider web.
Right.
And so, they just think you're a crazy person,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I looked at him and I go, yeah, Brian Regan does that bit. And Johnny goes, oh, well, I'm not going to do it anymore, right? there's that like little code, right? And I believe that if you had written that bit, that you would continue to do it. You know
If
what I mean?
I had written
because
that
if you
bit?
had written it, but the thing is that Brian
No,
Regan had already done it on a
Right.
special.
I would
right?
have. I would have asked. Well,
No,
that's
I'm
very
doing-
similar.
Blankets this thing.
Yeah, I'm just doing a blanket
Yeah,
statement.
but that's
you
very
can't-
similar.
You can't.
Right.
In my blanket, you can't interrupt me.
Oh, sorry.
All right.
My bad.
I think that there are certain things in your act that, like the Bill Cosby joke. That joke was Bill Cosby's. Bill Cosby himself, which is Bill Cosby's special, is like the White Album. It's like one of the most famous specials out there. You did a bit that was a little too similar to that bit,
Right.
and it's for me unarguable. It's unarguable to me. But that being said, there are things that are said about you on the internet that aren't true. Like for instance, there is this, a narrative that you're like this bad, evil kind of a guy who is selfish. And for me, I don't see that. I see a guy who's really just. I've seen you help me, Dalia, Coy, Christella, Trevino, Freddie Soto. I mean, the list goes on, right? And we all came from your school of comedy. I've learned so much by touring with you.
Josh
what?
Blue, Leslie.
Yeah.
I put Leslie on Mind and Mencia before anybody knew who she was.
Yeah, I remember that. And so you put my ex-girlfriend Sarah on, remember, without even auditioning. That's right. Yeah, thank you.
Well, Sarah is also really talented.
She's very talented. Yeah, but my point though is that, by having you on, I was really nervous about it. And I just feel like we're just at a point where it might be a situation where it might be unfixable, which is a sad thing. You know what I mean?
I think that it takes more than one conversation, and I think it's going to take multiple
Maybe.
conversations. Is it my blanket turn?
Yeah,
yet?
go ahead.
But I did what you say should be done. I was told that I did a joke that was similar, and I never did it again. The optics are different because it comes out on special, and now you say, well, that can't be. So your point of view and my point of view are completely different when it comes to this. Your point of view is, dude, you did it. I saw it. My point of view is, yeah, on that specific show, on that specific night, I was told you can call him. And I never did the joke after that. That's what I did. Yet, because of the hate, because of me going long, because of other people feeling disrespected by me, because other people feeling that I got too many spots or that they couldn't fuck with me or that I had some power that I didn't have. Like somebody said to me the other day that I kicked Joe out of the Comedy Store because I had the power. I'm like, first of all, Mitzi was alive. I don't know if you know anything about Mitzi. You can't tell her to do shit at her club.
Yeah.
So, no, that wasn't me. And second of all, I would never tell them to not do that shit. That was a decision that they made because, from my understanding, we weren't supposed to record at the Comedy Store, and it was put out there. That being said, all I've ever wanted was to meet the people that I hurt so that I could say I'm sorry to them because that's how I grew up. My brother is an alcoholic. I know the steps. That's what I've always wanted. But that's not who I owe an apology to.
Is he recovering, your brother?
Yeah, he's 35 years clean.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's what I realized today is that's not who I need to do an apology to, believe it or not. That's not who needs my apology. The internet does. The internet believes that I am this self-centered, egotistical human being who only cares about himself, who goes on long despite anybody else, who changed my name to take advantage of the Mexican thing. Not that my mother who raised me is Mexican. No, that's not it. It's this. The internet believes that I am this person, and there is nothing that can be done. And all I can say with honesty to the internet is if that was going on at the time, I was completely unaware of it. But if you loved me or you thought I was great and this tarnished it because you feel like I did it, I'm sorry that I made you go through that. I'm sorry that was the case. I only wish that I could say with specificity, I'm sorry about these specific things to these specific people. But to those people that felt like I betrayed them, that I wasn't who I am, that I cheated my way to success, that I cheated my way onto the comedy scene, that I didn't have it, that without me stealing jokes, I never would have been where I am, that I stopped other comedians from being great or took their greatness and made it my own. To you, I apologize, because I was never aware that that's what I was doing. It was never a part of who I was. I'm really thankful that this shit happened to me and not some other comic, because I really believe that some other comic would have probably committed suicide or done some really fucked up shit with what happened to me. I always understood why you did what you did and the perspective that you came from. I was never, ever hurt. That's not true. I was never offended, nor did I ever not understand why you chose to do what you do. My only issue with you was always, you've seen me create 20 minutes out of nothing more than once. You have seen me look at you while listening to a radio station and say, I'm going to make that funny tonight. And you saying, no way, and me doing it. And it has bothered me, or sometimes, that you can see that and know that that's what I do, and then over here think that I literally lifted a bit from an iconic thing that never made sense to me. That doesn't make sense, that you know this for a fact. You've seen it. You've seen me do it. And then on the other hand, you go, yeah, but that joke is like, that always made me go, I don't understand why those two can exist in the same world in your head.
Could it be that he believes both, that you are an amazing
I do
writer?
believe both. I believe both.
Interesting.
Yeah, I believe both, and I believe both can exist.
Both can exist, but I've never held it against you.
Yeah.
You have always and will always be. You know, I remember getting the phone call that you crashed, that you flipped the car.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
What?
Didn't you leave
And-
the car there?
Yeah.
He left the car there,
Oh,
and
yeah. That one.
Yeah.
That story.
and you know, I so like, but that's
was a
but I never did it.
You could have gave me a car that wasn't a stick.
Oh, that's your fault.
Wow!
I've never used a stick before. So
Wow!
Yeah.
This motherfucker was complaining that he couldn't do spots in La Jolla, so I got him a fucking car. You know what?
Gulag, baby.
Thank you.